Hey everybody, this is Joe Harper with Reformed Truth Ministries, here for another RTM expedition today. Today we are in St. Croix State Park, close to Hinkley, Minnesota. So this is about a 90-minute drive from the Twin Cities region, depending on where you are in the Twin Cities. It was about a 90-minute drive for me, and today we're going to be hiking in this area. We're going to be doing more research related to Sasquatch. We're going to be looking for evidence of Sasquatch, things such as footprints, tree structures, even sightings. And the reason why I am starting in my car here today is because it is essentially pitch black outside. We got about another hour or so before sunrise. So we're going to be starting here. I'll show you guys here in just a sec, looking out the front windshield, how dark it is out here. It is, as I said, it is pitch black. So I wanted to start in the car just simply so you can have some lighting. You can see my face. But like I said, we're continuing to follow up the research we've done really throughout the entire spring and summer. We're trying to make progress in regards to doing research. We've learned a lot about Sasquatch this year. We've learned that they are essentially Nephilim descendants from our interview with Travis Carpenter. We've learned so much about how there's a spiritual component to this. We're continuing to do this research. We're trying to do it prayerfully, carefully. We know there's a lot of spiritual warfare, even danger related to this, but it's still being said, we do believe that this is truth that needs to be brought forward really to Christianity and to humanity. And so we're really trying to show that the spiritual is real, and this Sasquatch evidence for its existence is one of those avenues that we're pursuing to try to show this, to demonstrate this. So this is being done very specifically with the purpose, but we'll see what we find today. We're going to hike in the park. We're going to see what we find. We're going to just try to really give a good comprehensive understanding of what is here and what we're going to find here today. So that being said, we'll see what we find, guys. So guys, if you look out here, you can see that it is really pitch black. You really can't see past my headlights in my car at all. So here, I'll just quickly turn them off. So there you see that you can't see any out at all. It is completely pitch black out here. And then when you turn them on, that's really the only lighting source we have. That's why I'm starting in the car. Once the sun gets up, I'll be able to get more footage out of the car. But I'm really going to start by just driving into the park down the road this way. All right, guys, we're driving into the park toward the fire tower, which is kind of deep in the heart of St. Croix State Park. And then from there, we're going to try to find some trails and hike as the sun comes up. It is around 6:30 a.m. in the morning, so it's still pretty dark. This is late October, so I think sunup it's well after 7. It's really closer to 7:30 at this point. And one of the things I was kind of thinking about on my way up here is that we really haven't done any night research into Sasquatch. We have learned from the reading, from the book study, that Sasquatch is a nocturnal creature. But we really haven't gone out into the field at nighttime, and this is really technically more early morning, but it is still dark. So in that sense, you could call it nocturnal work or night work, even though it isn't really in the middle of the night. It's not staying up at 3 a.m. That's something that would require camping and staying. But this is something that we've thought about, and it's something that, as I was thinking about this, we haven't really done. All right, guys, we're out of the car. You see here, some people wouldn't attribute this to anything. You got tree bend here. There's some more weaving potentially over here. I don't want to make too much of it, but just documenting it. And then same here, potential going up there. I gotta really buy a stronger flashlight. You can tell this isn't really the best, but if you look out that way, you can tell sun's starting to come up. We're gonna just listen. We got our sound recorder too. We're gonna listen and see what we find. All right, guys, look right there. And then up there. And same with these here. All right, guys, Kettle River Scenic Vista is a quarter of the mile that way. So we are going to hike the trail here behind me, and we're going to see what we find. We've already seen some potential tree structures. If we see anything that looks potentially to be a tree structure, we're going to be praying over these areas, but we're also, one of the new things we're trying is the EMF reader, which we started using when we were at Crazy Annie's Bridge. But it's something that we're going to try here in relation to potential tree structures to see if we get any electromagnetic activity. So that is something that we're going to try that may be new. We'll see what happens. Now, guys, some Sasquatch researchers will talk about how they will find, potentially, they will find tree bark scraped off of trees. Now, maybe somebody will say that's just nature being nature. That's a question. I mean, obviously there's some peeling here, but and it goes pretty far up, so. But hey, something to think about. Right, guys, loop here. Kind of got everything piled up here, and then we got more loops here. You be the judge. Check it out, guys. Even in late autumn, even in the end of October, Minnesota has so much beauty. The older I get, the more I love coming up north You know, it's so ironic. We'd come up here and camp and stuff when I was a kid, and I would think, oh, we're outside, it's cold, we're getting rained on. But now I've just really come to appreciate the beauty of this state more and more. Yep, nothing. All right, guys, this has been this October installment of Searching for Sasquatch in Minnesota. This has been what could be potentially our final Sasquatch expedition of the year. We've covered a lot of good ground this year. We've gone to a lot of areas. I thought that this was I actually thought some of the tree structures I saw today were pretty promising. Trying some new things, brought an audio recorder, brought EMF reader technology I hasn't brought before. Came in before the sun came up, drove in before dark. These are all techniques that are getting developed and fine-tuned and honed. And that's really important. If we're really trying to find evidence, we need to continue, as I've said in every one of these videos, we need to be patient. We need to play the long game. And even though I didn't have a sighting today, I still think that I'm pretty convinced that they're in this area. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I think some of the stuff I saw, I actually felt even more encouraged than some of the other trips I took on this year. Some people, the skeptics, will say, Joe, you're just staring at trees, man. They'll say you're crazy, but I personally don't feel that way. So I think this has been a promising day. I think this has been another good step that we're taking moving forward. And I think I'm really enjoying doing this. And I really am looking forward to you guys looking at this, seeing this footage. So that being said, this is Joe Harper with Reformed Truth and Ministries. God bless everybody. If you have been blessed by the ministry of RTM, then please consider supporting our ministry through Buy Me a Coffee and check out our website at www.reformedtruther.com.